YouTube, what's going on? It is Friday, September 7th, 2018. And I'm bringing this video to you from Phoenix, Arizona as a public service announcement, which I'm sure by now you've all heard. There was some breaking news today in the world of Diecast. And it's the biggest news since the summer of 2015, or it might have been 16, whenever it was that M2 and Greenlight announced that they were going to be getting Nissan licensing. So this video, as shaky as it is, we're going to take a look at just a couple of Chevy trucks. Got some Greenlight Silverados here. Down here we have some vintage classic stuff. We've got an old K5 Blazer, first generation, from Johnny Lightning. We've got a Chevy Tahoe from Johnny Lightning. Got an old Chevy pickup from Racing Champs. We have the Chase and the regular. And then we've got a couple of awesome C10s from Greenlight. Here is the breaking news. Today, AutoWorld announced with the sample 3D prints, they announced this truck right here. And there are about, oh gosh, I don't know. They tooled it in such a way that's going to allow them to produce 13 different years and styles from fleet side to step side. They've got a camper in the back, which is nothing to get too excited about because it's the Johnny Lightning camper. But it's an AutoWorld premium, true 1:64 scale, square body Chevrolet 1500 pickup. So whether they're going to do the Silverado or the Scottsdale or the Custom Deluxe, I know that it came out with a different assortment of names, but this is the general body style that it will be, other than the bed, because there are going to be some different options with the bed. I don't think there's going to be a long bed and short bed. I think it's just a short box, but you do have the fleet side bed and the step side bed. And something else that they're doing with it is they have three different bases, three different tooling bases. So they have the standard base, which is for your two-wheel drive configuration. Then they have a lowered base, which would probably give it the closest look to this Hot Wheels truck here. And then they are doing a lifted base, lifted suspension with big off-road tires. I am stoked about this truck. It is going to be impossible to get your hands on it because it's going to bring collectors from, any square body collector that didn't collect AutoWorld, and I imagine there's quite a few out there because AutoWorld doesn't have anything even close. It's going to draw a lot of those people in. So that is some really good news in the world of Diecast. Some bad news to kind of go hand in hand with that news. When Greenlight comes out and announces a new tooling, it usually hits the pegs within probably between 6 and 9 months. And I think I've seen it even faster than that sometimes. With AutoWorld, it is pretty much a full year. So it's probably going to be fall of 2019 before those things start hitting the pegs. I don't think that's so much a production thing as it is a timing thing. I think Greenlight waits until they're further along in the process before they make these announcements, whereas AutoWorld, I think, makes the announcement a lot sooner than they probably should. That's speculation. You know, I'm not basing that off anything other than the toolings that they've brought out since I've started collecting. Most recently, the Impala and the Buick Wagon. You know, those that was a full year proposition. But I'm so stoked to get these trucks into my collection, and I know you guys all probably are too. You know, as nice as this Hot Wheels is, it definitely doesn't qualify for premium detailed. Although this one here, yeah, this is probably the nicest one I think they put out if you're going, like, talking about civilian deco replication. I know they put some nice RLC releases out, but as far as, like, the adult collectible stuff, like, to me, this is the one. But it came out with a metal base and lifted suspension, so I just base swapped it and then threw some real riders on it. But if you're wondering, this is from Retro Entertainment, Friday Night Lights. Really cool truck. I just can't wait till AutoWorld gets done with theirs, because you know, so many people have been calling for it, and I think that they were receptive to that, because when they made the announcement, that was part of their statement is, you know, the most requested tooling on our Facebook page is the square body Chevy pickup. I'm glad they beat Greenlight to it, because I think AutoWorld is better suited for this casting. But I would like to see Greenlight do the Blazer. You know, they could do this Blazer. I'd be okay with that, but I would rather see the square body Blazer or a second gen Bronco. From Greenlight. So that's awesome. That's some really good news. That's the type of thing that could really bump AutoWorld up a notch in the grand scheme of things. Even though it's only one tooling, it's a popular enough tooling that I think it could make a major impact. It's definitely going to cause a lot of buzz in the hobby. I think it'll be the most buzz since the M2 and Greenlight Nissan licensing. If you guys remember, that was a I don't know how to describe it, but that created a lot of hype in the hobby, because up until that time it was really only Hot Wheels. You know, Johnny Lightning had a few older castings, but at that time they had just barely been relaunched from round 2, and the Nissan castings that Johnny Lightning has aren't that good to begin with, except for the 240. That's a really nice casting, and the CRX is a nice casting. It's just way too big. But the R34 is an awful, it's not good, and the 280Z that they do is not good. There's way too much, too many stance issues. They just don't look right. But AutoWorld, you know, they haven't missed the mark on a single tooling yet. And so we don't, as collectors, have any reason to think that there will be any issues with this one. So, in light of that information that came out today, I just wanted to take a look at some 1:64 scale premium detailed Chevy trucks. So, real quick, this is a Johnny Lightning Tahoe. This is a Plain Mantis release. They have re-released this casting under round 2. I don't have it, but this is one of the castings that I wheel swapped I like the look of these Steelies a lot better than the wheels. The wheels that were on it were not good. They were very generic and they just didn't look good. Now this is a really nice tooling, and for scale, as far as scale goes, it's probably 1 to 66. It's a little tiny small. I wouldn't say it's too much small though. But there's some awesome detail on this casting. Of course, you do have the typical Johnny Lightning stance issue, which causes quarter views to look really bad, but the silhouette views look fantastic on this casting. Just really some incredible detail. All of the molding, you have that black composite molding that wraps all the way around the car or the truck front bumper and rear bumper, as well as along the rocker panel. And then you have the 1500 badging there, which is authentic to the truck. Gray interior, very common for the 1990s. Brake light detail, not just not just the 2 brake lights, but they also have the 3rd brake light at the top. The tailgate is nicely detailed. The bumper looks really good. You've got the composite material on top of the bumper. The tinted windows, I think, look really good on this casting as well. And then there's the front grille again real quick. You got the bow tie. Now they do have this configured for a police car, which is why you see the blacked out lights inside the grille. Those are there because this was released as a police car a few times. But really nice detail. And then you've got your indicators also detailed. So that's a Johnny Lightning Chevy Tahoe. Really cool truck. It's a real heavy truck. Metal body, metal base. And then here's the Johnny Lightning K5 Blazer. This one is a little bit small. I think the Tahoe is closer to 1 to 64 scale than this is. But it still looks really good. This is another one, though, that I did a wheel swap on. Which I think the wheel swap makes it look a lot better because these are bigger tires than what normally comes on it. So it gives it a more aggressive stance. And it's still a really nice rolling truck. I love the color. This is a factory color for the truck. And a really nice detail on this thing as well. So this one, unlike the Tahoe, this one has a really nice stance to it. Might have a little bit of passenger lean. But the way the wheels set in the wheel well looks proper to me. It doesn't look goofy. They're not in too far. So, I don't know. I think this is just a nice casting. I really wish Greenlight would take this one on. And or the square body K5 Blazer. I like these wheels though. Those are actually Jeep wheels. Alright. There's a casting you've all seen 1,000 times. The C10. One of Greenlight's better castings. They do a really nice job giving this casting a stock replication. All the way down to the wheels. If you just look at these wheels, Very, very nicely done. Got your indicator, your Chevy badge, Chevy 10 for the C10, the two-tone paint, bench seat, really nice front end. One of the big differences between the Greenlight C10 and the Johnny Lightning K5 is that the Johnny Lightning has an opening hood. But as you can see, it's not always the easiest to open. And this particular model here, it snaps closed. It won't stay. But I guess when you look at these proportionately, the Johnny is definitely smaller. If you look at the length of the hood from the windshield, it's definitely smaller. If you look at the cab, it's definitely smaller on the Johnny. And then I'm sure the width is smaller. We'll take a look at that here. I think that's lined up right here. Yeah. So, you know, I still really like that Johnny casting. This is an older truck. And this one here is from Racing Champions. I don't know what year it is, but I really should show you the regular one. Just because I think the regular one, it's a more stock look, which I think for a review is probably a little bit better, but really nice chrome grille. The indicators are in the grille. It does have an opening hood. A really nice frosty white paint job. Wood bed, bench seat. This whole front chrome piece is separate, and then the rear bumper is separate. Also, some other separate pieces, the opening hood, but also the opening tailgate. It's a really cool truck, I think. You know which one I forgot to get for this video? Oh, we might have to take a little walk. Yeah, we're going to have to do it. I got to show you guys the ceiling. I know you all hate that. I would hate that too. Well, here's some cars you can look at real quick. How about that Ertl Ford Bronco? I can't believe I forgot this truck, man. It's probably the one Chevy truck that I've had the longest of all of these. An M2 Chevy Cameo. Or it might be a GMC Cameo. Nope, it's a Chevy. Unfortunately, the M2, as nice as the M2 truck is, and it is nice, it's an older release from M2, so this one's not going to have a lot of the QC issues that today's M2 stuff has. Got a really nice stance. I think this one might even be a 4x4. Chevy Cameo. Yeah, it is, because it has a transfer case on the base, so it doesn't say the year, though. Oh, yeah, it does. 58. 1958. That is a really nice truck, though. I have to hand it to M2. So with all the M2 that I've bought and sold over the last 3 years, this one has managed to stay in my collection. That's how much I like that truck. And then we've got the late model stuff from Greenlight. This is my favorite Greenlight Chevy Silverado that they've put out so far. Thing looks wicked cool in silver. So, and that will wrap up the video. I just wanted to pass on the information, and I'm sure you guys already heard because it's all over social media, as it should be. Like I said earlier, that is the biggest news that in the world of diecast in a long time. So I'm very happy to hear it, the news, and I very much look forward to those castings coming out. It'll be one of those toolings that I will try to go after every one, but I know those are going to be super expensive. I don't even want to think about how much the Ultra Reds are going to cost. But hopefully with their initial release, they put out more than 2,500. Because that's a casting that all collectors are going to want to get their hands on. So, in honor of AutoWorld announcing the square body tooling, here is a final look at some Chevy pickups in the 1:64 scale, premium detailed variety. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a great weekend. I will be back very shortly with another awesome premium detail video. So stay tuned for that. Peace.